What's up, Cricket Rockstar Nation? Welcome to the Cricket Rockstar Show. If you haven't been following the ICC Men's World T20, Day 10 continues to provide more drama day by day. From Rashid Khan hitting historic milestones in Delhi to Pathum Nissanka lighting up Kandy with a masterful century. Day 10 was about survival and statements. If you aren't hyped for the Super 8s yet, start to make your predictions one time because it's going to be hell on earth. Before I even jump to what has happened with day 10, I haven't gotten the time to talk about day 9, and I do apologize for bringing out this video a couple of days late, but better late than never. I want to flash back to Sunday. You know why? Because I cannot go on without saying my thoughts on West Indies and India qualifying for the Super 8s with ease. The West Indies took on Nepal at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, and to be honest, it was a professional demolition job. Now, this was the same West Indies side several months ago that lost to Nepal with a second string team. They lost, I believe, 2-1 it was. Then several months later, bam, with a full strength team, they whipped their tail. Now, Shai Hope won the toss and sent the cardiac kids in. And from the start, it was all about the discipline of the West Indies attack. From Akil Hussain with the new ball to Jason Holder, who was truly the standout, finishing with figures of 4 for 27. And he used those conditions perfectly as the Nepalese really struggled to find any rhythm early on. And had it wasn't for the gritty 58 from Deepinder Singh Airy, they might not have gotten over 100 runs on the board. They did, however, finish on 133 for the loss of 8 wickets, which at the Wankhede Stadium was going to be a very hard total to defend. But when it came to West Indies chasing down the 134, Shai Hope led from the front with an undefeated 61. Now, in the last couple of games he played, his strike rate was below par, but in that particular game, he made a rich return to form. And Shimron Hetmyer, who has been West Indies' leading run scorer throughout the competition, he literally has been belting the bowlers all around the ground. And I must be very honest, ever since they decided to put him at that number 3 position, his rich vein of form has came back in a big way. Remember, he started his international career at number 3 and he was in and out of the team for quite a while. Then when he came back in the side, they started using him as a finisher, a role that, in my honest opinion, I wasn't a fan of him batting down the order. He was always suitable to bat at number 3 and number 4, to say the least. His undefeated 46 today just goes to show why he is truly a worthy number 3 player, whether it's one-day internationals or T20 cricket on the whole. They did manage to finish up Nepal in less than 15 overs with a 9-wicket victory. And West Indies became the second team after South Africa, who on Saturday defeated New Zealand to make it to the Super 8s. They became the second team to officially qualify for the Super 8s. And just remember, this was a side that I said before the World T20 had started, had a long shot. So far, they are continuing to surprise me in a big way. And I do hope that after all the criticism I gave them, they do go for a deep run in this competition. You never know, because whenever West Indies plays ICC events in India, look, for example, in the past, they have always had long runs. Remember when Brian Lara was captain, they were undefeated all the way to the 2006 Champions Trophy final, where they lost badly to Australia. Then 10 years later in 2016, under the leadership of Darren Sammy, when he was the captain, West Indies lost just one game right throughout the competition to Afghanistan and won everything else. And they went all the way. You never know. Lightning could strike twice or 3 times, but just remember, there are a lot stronger teams than West Indies in this competition, though. And before the Men's T20 World Cup, let me be very honest, this same West Indies sides, though, failed to win a bilateral series against any of the big sides, with the exception of South Africa 3-0 in Trinidad and Tobago in August of 24, and Bangladesh, which in my opinion is still a minnow side, in October 2025. On both those occasions, they swept them 3-0. So You never know what to expect with West Indies. They are the most unpredictable side in world cricket alongside Pakistan, who I will get to a bit later on. They did came into this World Cup as long shot. Not dark horses, not favourites, but as long shot. As what I all mentioned there. But as for the Nepalese, Nepal, unfortunately, it's another first round exit for the Cardiac Kids after 3 defeats. Now remember, in the first game they played against England, they showed flashes of brilliance against England, only to come up short by 5 runs in the opening game. But however, since then, it has all been downhill thick and fast for Nepal. Moving from the Wankhede to the Chepauk in Chennai, which saw yet another high-scoring affair as the United States of America have barely kept its Super 8 hopes alive following its comfortable 31-run victory over a winless Namibia. The Americans batted first and posted a massive 199 for the loss of 4, as Captain Munak Patel set the tone with 52 and in the process became the first USA player to reach 1,000 T20 international runs. However, the real big show came from Sanjay Krishnamurti. His brutal 68 not out of 33 deliveries really put the game out of Namibia's reach. However, the Namibians did give it a go, courtesy Lawrence Steenkamp, who fought hard with a half century. But the USA bowling, led by leading wicket taker in the tournament, Shadley Van Schakalwitz, he was very consistent. Since the start of the tournament, I've been saying that watch out for some of the associates because they do have decent bowlers nowadays, unlike before where the full member guys would always dominate. This T20 World Cup, just like the last World Cup, has seen a lot of surprises so far with regards to the associates, and it wouldn't be a surprise if we see 1 or 2 more upsets before the Super 8. The Americans did win by 31 to keep their Super 8 dreams alive, ending Namibia's campaign. However, the Americans will be hoping for Namibia to pull off one favor, and that is knocking Pakistan out of the competition, who we must talk about because you see that India-Pakistan game on Sunday, aka Cricket's International El Clasico, was yet another one-side affair. Now, y'all may have been... Now, most of you, the followers, have been asking why I've been outspoken with regards the politics between the two countries, which I would not rather get into as it's already up on my social media platforms. But one thing is for sure, India continues to be in good spirit, just like the soca song from last year, 2025, from Full Blown Good Spirits. Go check it out on YouTube or listen to them on local radio anyway. Ishan Kishan, let's talk about him for a sec. He was batting like if he had the spirit of aggression, vengeance in his veins. His 77 runs or 40 deliveries at the top of the order, which I must say was an absolute belter of a masterclass. And man, he literally blew away the Pakistani bowlers to all parts of the Premadasa. He was hitting boundaries like if he was chipping down the road by the next door neighbor. And then too came the bowlers, especially Hardik Pandya, Jasprit Bumrah, Varun Chakrabarti, Akshar Patel, and the list goes on. They were simply way too good on the day as India became the third team after South Africa and the West Indies to advance to the Super 8 with ease. A few words with regards to the no handshake policy. You know why? It's something that I've been wanting not to talk about, but witnessing what has been transpiring in the world of cricket, especially with India and Pakistan rivalry. There's no rivalry. There's no rivalry nowadays or no comparisons. India are 1,000 times better than Pakistan on any days. Unlike in the 90s, 2000s, where Pakistan was simply better than India. Then came the 2000s, where both teams was evenly matched. And then late 2000s, 2010s to present, it has all been India's domination. But coming back to the no handshake policy, this policy that India adopted on the advice of the BJP government, in my opinion, it has gone way too far. And really, what has the ICC done about it? Nothing but played God. And don't make me mention Jesus Christ, Bhagwan, or Allah in all their veins. Whether it's 2025, 2026, the spirit of cricket must be about respect. You guys want to talk about integrity and fairness when it comes to Pakistan mentioning a boycott. But when India and Pakistan bring their political bacchanal and nastiness to the pitch, you all stay quiet, Governor man. No penalties, no fines. What is this nonsense? What is this BS? Take a page from FIFA when they banned Russia 4 years ago. And not just them alone too. UEFA did the same thing. But both FIFA and UEFA needs to ban Israel and kick them out for the amount of damage they have done to innocent Palestinians and Gaza. We all saw what has been happening within the last couple of years and long before that too, but I will not jump into this as this is not about politics, it's cricket. Pakistan, on the other hand, needs a serious wake-up call. How dare you, Salman Ali Agar, who is the captain of the Pakistan team, send India into bat on what is a flat wicket and a flat batting deck, which could suit the batters for the first half, then slow down later on for the spinners. And then secondly, how the hell you use 18 overs? 18 overs of spin and just 2 overs of seam bowling from Shaheen Shah Afridi when you have another seamer in the side in Fahim Ashraf, who is basically a bowling all-rounder too. And he, mind you, was the pick of the Pakistani seam bowlers so far in this competition. Then too, let's talk about Zimbabwe, or should I say the biggest fish in the Pakistan team, or should I say biggest snake fish. That is Baba Azam, who, what can I say? He's Mr. Zimbabwe himself, always scoring against smaller nations. But when it comes to performing against big teams, when they're supposed to bring a big A game, for example, against Australia, England, and India, where you have to bring an A game all the time, where's the A game? You never brought no A game against Australia, England, and India in the past. And it just goes to show he's rubbish. He's simply rubbish, folks. 5 runs of 7 deliveries. I would banish him, kick him out of the Pakistan team one time. He's been underperforming in all formats for the last couple of years. That 1 century against Sri Lanka is irrelevant now, given the fact that he doesn't want to change his game for the better. Look at likes of Steve Smith, Shubman Gill. They've all changed their games personally. Why Baba Azam is still stuck with the same conservative format in T20s? Come the man, it's high time or kick out that son of a gun from the team. Same thing I can say for Shaheen Shah Afridi and Shadab Khan as well. They've been bowling rubbish for quite some time now, or should I say for the last year or two. And I think it's high time, unless they go back to domestic cricket or even county cricket, which is more high profile than the trashy domestic cricket in Pakistan, which always changes time and time again. It's high time they go back, discover what is going on. Otherwise, their cricket career will be simply finished. True finish, like if they didn't exist. With that said, Pakistan must win its final group game against Namibia. Otherwise, the United States of America goes through to the Super 8s, given the fact that currently they have a better net run rate than Pakistan and have 2 more points to them at this stage, which means the Pakistan-Namibia game is virtually a knockout for Pakistan. Pakistan win, they go through. Pakistan lose, the US goes through. So moving from day 9 to day 10, because we must talk about day 10, which was action-packed, as Afghanistan, who, mind you, are still on the brink of early elimination, although we all know what can happen with New Zealand's next game. If they win, Afghanistan crash out of the competition. They kept its campaign barely alive with a 5-wicket victory over the United Arab Emirates at the Kotala in Delhi, who, mind you, UAE themselves have been putting up more fight as well in the earlier matches. They gave the Afghans a real scare, courtesy Swab Khan, who I must say, he was timing the ball beautifully all around the ground with his 68 runs. But let's not forget Afghanistan's Azmatullah Umarzai. Is that the way how I pronounce it? I believe so. Azmatullah Umarzai. He's already a certified all-round superstar. 4 wickets in the game and 40 runs to seal the deal for the Afghans. And it just goes to show he can be one of those all-rounders who can be very handy on any day and turn the game around single-handedly. Also, massive congratulations to Rashid Khan on becoming the first bowler to secure 700 T20 wickets. And let me say one more thing. By the time Rashid Khan retires from all forms of the game, he will simply go down as one of the greatest T20 spinners ever the world has seen. And especially coming from a war-torn country, which has been badly hampered. And for a country that doesn't play any of its international matches at home, it's a massive achievement. So well done, Rashid Khan, once again. Afghanistan will be hoping that Canada upsets New Zealand so they can have one more bite at the cherry. But I do not see New Zealand surrendering to the Canadians unless something dramatic happens. Over to Eden Gardens in Kolkata, which yet again showed why you should never take any of the associate nations lightly. Look, for example, remember Italy, the newcomers who lost to Scotland, then upset Nepal? Always the bridesmaid, never a bride. Well, let me tell you something about the Azuris, as what they are referred to. In their third match against England, a side that has virtually haven't had a perfect game just yet in its campaign, the Italians gave the English a huge run for their money. They did, however, lose by 24 runs when they could have lost by just 10, 15, or even chased down the target and upset England. That would have sent them crashing out of the competition though, and it would have given the Italians or the Scottish an outside chance to join West Indies in the Super 8s. But let's be honest, 203 front associate nation against a full-strength England side like that was going to be tough. And I must admire and praise the Italians for the way how they fought with the bat like hell. Let's talk about Ben Manetti. He smashed 60 runs of 25 deliveries against the 2022 champions. And most importantly, he played without fear of contradiction. He played without fear, attacking the English bowlers and ratcheting them to all parts of the ground like if they were simply county schoolboys, or should I say county cricketers. But one thing must be said, Sam Curran, who hasn't been a big match player for quite some time against the bigger nations, he held his nerve once again at the death, just like what he did against Nepal. But if you look at it, where was the big match player like him against bigger nations, which I just asked? That is the big question. England, however, did book its Super 8 spot, but the Azuri definitely earned the world respect throughout the competition. And it's quite sad that they wouldn't be able to be in the next round, because it would have given 2007 Ireland vibes when they made their ICC tournament debut. England, however, are lucky to have gotten away with it, but they are going to have a tough run come the Super 8s. So moving away from cricket crazy India now to cricket carnival Sri Lanka, as the Sri Lanka versus Australia match at Pallekele showed why the Sri Lankans, who are yet to drop a match in this competition, are truly the dark horses / giant killers. Just like in the late 90s into the 2000s, into the early 2010s, where they used to be dominant, Australia, who, mind you, came into this game in a must-win position, because had they lost, they would have been out of the tournament, which they eventually did. They started off with a 70-run power play and looked set for a score over 200 plus, even 220, even further down the line. Then the Sri Lankan spinners in Welagale and Himanta, who came in as replacement for Hasaranga, who's ruled out of the tournament, they pulled the handbrake on the Australians. They bowled beautifully well. And the Aussies never recovered after that. But the one star that we need to talk about in the Sri Lankan run chase is Pathum Nissanka. 100 not out in a crunch game. And especially against a dominant team like Australia, to send them on the brink of elimination, or should I say knock them out. That must be termed as legendary stuff. Sri Lanka, they, I believe, became the 5th or 6th team to officially qualify for the Super 8s. As for the Australians, well, they're on their way home. As in the words of actress and activist Sophia Bush would say when she played Brooke Davis on the CW teen drama One Tree Hill, she said this about the killer in Xavier. Nobody's going to save you. I want to say here that Australia needs a serious cleansing or operation cleanup in T20 internationals. Mitchell Marsh must be sent on must be given the marching orders. He needs to be sacked because he's basically not doing anything. His captaincy is rubbish. He manages to be fit just to play as a pure batter when he's mainly an all-rounder. And he's barely taking any wickets. He should be sent packing, so as Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, and the selectors too. All of them are past their prime. Plus, I'll go one step further. It's also high time Australia moves on from Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood. Why I'm saying this is because they are barely fit for ICC events, but are always fit to play Test cricket and the IPL, but cannot stay fit for ICC events frequently, especially in the limited overs format. The management and the selectors, as I just mentioned, must be held accountable for the way they selected the team. Full of all-rounders, full of finishers, no proper batters, no proper bowlers. And you see the late call-up of Stephen Smith, who I find should have been in the side to begin with. It literally just threw off the Australian team. And this is why I'm saying that the selectors themselves, they have to go, because to treat a guy like Stephen Smith, who has done so much for Australia over the years and has won new titles on so many occasions, and to treat him like this, it's unacceptable. He's a big player. I don't care if it's sandpaper, this or that, that's in the past. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up for my takes on days 9 and 10 of the ICC Men's World T20 happening in India and Sri Lanka. I would like you all to kindly follow me on all of my social media platforms, and always remember to be good, be cool, stay frosty, and most importantly, the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Take care, you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.